Hi, welcome to the Forge. I'm Eric. I'm going to start a new series this time. I'm going to try to finish this series. I actually have to finish it. I've talked in other videos and on the 8th Forge Facebook page about commissions that are running late. And I'm going to start this video series is going to be on finishing those commissions. Each one is at its own place in the process of being fixed, being built. So the first one that we start with is the oldest. This is a Viking-esque fantasy blade that needs to be finished. I just realized I've got the lower guard on upside down. It's fine, it can just be switched over. But on this one, I've almost completed. Well, I've completed a lot of the work on the lower guard, working on the upper guard, and I've got a chunk forged out to make the pommel cap. This one has a special piece of apple wood that the client sent me. That's been one of my holdups with it because I've been very afraid to damage that wood. I don't want to damage this wood because he can't get any more from the tree that it came from. That tree is gone now. So I don't want to ruin that piece. But yeah, this is the first and oldest commission, and it needs to be out the door and in the client's hands. So we'll be working hard on it. I'll be covering some of what I'm doing on each piece of it, but right now we'll be looking at the upper guard on that one. I've yet to decide whether I like that upper guard. It might be too small. I might make it a little bit bigger. It's a little smaller than I thought it was. So there's this one. We'll be working on it. The next one is this. This is a blade I forged out some time ago, a long time ago. It's made out of 1095. The Viking-esque is 1075. But this is 1095. It was a 1/4 inch thick. I forged it out. Didn't really know what to do with it after that. It was supposed to be, honestly, an Assassin's Creed short blade from the original Assassin's Creed. I scrapped that idea and just left it laying off to the side. I was afraid of heat treating it and everything. Well, I got better at heat treating, so I heat treated this blade. It went well. I put it up saying, "Hey, anybody want this blade?" And my client came along and says, "Yeah, I'd like to get that from you." So he and I have worked together on it. One of my biggest holdups here right now, what I'm doing is hand sanding on this blade, and I'm at 120 grit on this surface here, just taking my time hand sanding, trying to get everything where it looks right. He's paid for this blade. He deserves a good blade. All of my clients deserve a good blade. They deserve the best work that I can give them. So here is where I am on this. I'm going to take it at least to 400 grit, probably higher on the edge. We'll see. There's still a lot of work left to do on it. I'm going to be casting, or at least attempting to cast the guard and pommel. So that's going to be a new experience for me that we'll be covering. And then finally, and I know this is taking a while, but finally, here is my latest commission. This is one that I normally forge out of farrier's rasps. I forged the one out for this particular client out of a farrier's rasp. It wouldn't harden for me. So I contacted him and asked him, "Hey, look, it's warping all over the place and it's not hardening. So can I forge you one out of 1095? I've got a nice piece of 1095 that I can do it out of." And he said, "Yeah, sure, that would be great." So this is the blade that I'm doing for him. This is what we'll be looking at first today because I'll be heat treating it. It's clayed up for the heat treat. I'm experimenting with clay up. That's refractory cement that I have on it. And so we'll be claying. I'll be heat treating this, sticking it in the oven for temper. And while that's going on, we'll go on to other work on these other blades that has to be done. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to fire up the forge. We're going to get this heat treated and throw it in the oven for temper. Gloves get hot around that forge. Okay, well, I hear the refractory plate popping off of it. I hope that's all it is. Otherwise, we'll be starting this blade again. But there it is. All right, so now we're going to clamp her up, get her knee tree and temper it. Alright, well, it's time to start working on the upper guard of the Fantasy Viking blade. I'm going to work on it now, but I need to ask the buyer or the client if this is the way he wants it. So anyway, that's what I'm going to go to next. The other blade is heat treated and tempered. We had some other things to do while it was doing that, but now it's time to move on with the blade work. That's going to be fun. Okay, so this is the upper and lower guards together. Let me see if I can move in smoothly and get, maybe not. So I can get a better view, more overhead. All right, let's try this. So yeah, there they are together. I'm not going to give my opinion of them, but I'm going to let the owner see this and see what he thinks. And we'll go from there. Now I'm going to start working on one of the other blades, start roughing it in until I get a word back from the owner. I don't want to go much further on that. I don't want to waste time when he wants his blade. All right, we'll get back with you. All right, so we're going to start off with this blade since we just heat treated and tempered it. And started a very coarse paper. I honestly don't have numbers on the back of this paper. I think it's around an 80 grit. But I'll be going up from there to 120 fairly quickly. But I want to get all the junk cleaned off this blade and find out if I've got any cracks or anything like that in it. I didn't hear anything that sounded like a crack. So let's find out. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's pretty coarse. I hope that I got a nice Hamon on this thing. Hope it's going to be something the owner's going to be proud of. He's really wanted one of my blades, so I hope I don't let him down. Alright, well this video kind of had a bit of an abrupt ending. What happened is as soon as I started sanding on this blade, my battery died. But what I've done here, I still have to finish it up. But I started on the 150 grit sanding on it. Still a couple scratches that's picked up since that I have to get out. A little more sanding left to do on it. But I'll continue to do that off camera, and it's a very rainy day right now, so mosquitoes buzzing around. But it's a very rainy day right now, so probably going to be inside, and I don't really shoot a lot of video in the house and stuff. So anyway, I'll continue sanding on this blade, and maybe by the time you see it again, maybe the 220 grit sanding will be done on it. But we're going to go ahead and get this video up, and on the Fantasy blade, I'll see what the owner thinks about the upper guard on that one, and we'll see you next time. So be sure to check back soon.